What's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining me here once again for another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews, exclusively here as always on the Casa D18 Studios channel. I, of course, am your host, the Renegade JJ Williams, and today we're going to be wrapping up the week inside the Disney Vault, taking a look at Tarzan, starring Tony Goldwyn, Minnie Driver, Glenn Close, Lance Henriksen, Brian Blessed, Nigel Hawthorne, Rosie O'Donnell, and Wayne Knight. What's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining me here once again for another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews. And we're going to wrap up our week inside of the Disney Vault with the classic Tarzan. And our movie opens in the late 1880s as a British couple and their infant son are shipwrecked off the Congolese coast. The adults build a tree house, but they are killed by Saber, a leopard. A female gorilla named Kala, who has recently lost her own child to Saber, finds the human infant and takes him back to the jungle to raise as her own, naming him Tarzan. Kerchak, who is Kala's mate and the gorilla's troop leader, strongly disapproves of the decision. But as the years pass, Tarzan begins to befriend the other animals in the jungle, including Kala's niece, Turk, and the paranoid male elephant, Tantor. Tarzan begins to find himself treated differently because of his different physique, so he makes great efforts to improve himself. As an adult, when Saber attacks the gorillas again, Tarzan manages to kill Saber with his own handcrafted crude spear, which gains Kerchak's reluctant respect. The gorilla troop's peaceful life is interrupted, though, by the arrival of a team of human explorers from England, which consists of Professor Archimedes Q. Porter, his daughter Jane, and their hunter escort Clayton, all of whom are looking to study gorillas. Jane accidentally becomes separated from the group and is chased by a mandrill troop until Tarzan saves her out of sheer curiosity and realizes that she is a human just like he is. Jane takes Tarzan back to the campsite where her father and Clayton both take great interest in him. Professor Porter in terms of scientific progress, while Clayton hopes to have Tarzan lead the group to the gorillas. And despite Kerchak's warning to avoid the strangers, Tarzan repeatedly returns to the camp. Professor Porter, Clayton, and Jane all eventually teach him to speak English properly, and they tell him what the human world is like. Tarzan and Jane begin to fall in love, however, she has difficulty convincing Tarzan to lead the humans to the gorillas, as Tarzan fears that Kerchak could hurt them. The explorer's ship soon returns to retrieve them, and Jane asks Tarzan to return with them to England. However, Tarzan, in turn, asks Jane to stay with him when Jane says that it's unlikely that they will ever return. Clayton is able to convince Tarzan that if he leads them to the gorillas, Jane will stay with him forever. So Tarzan agrees. Tarzan then leads the trio to the nesting grounds while Turk and Tantor lure Kerchak. Jane and her dad are excited to mingle with the gorillas, but Kerchak returns and attacks the humans on sight. Tarzan restrains Kerchak while the humans escape. Afterwards, Kerchak coldly accuses Tarzan of disobeying him and betraying his family, causing Tarzan to flee in shame. Kala then finds Tarzan and takes him to the treehouse where she found him. Kala reveals his true past and tells him that she just wants him to be happy, whatever he decides. Tarzan then puts on his late father's suit, signifying his decision to go to England. But when Tarzan boards the ship with Professor Porter and Jane the next day, they are ambushed by Clayton and his traitorous band of thugs. Clayton then reveals his plans to capture and sell the gorillas for a fortune now that he knows where the nesting grounds are, and he imprisons Professor Porter, Tarzan, and Jane in order to prevent them from interfering. Tarzan manages to escape with the help of Turk and Tantor, and he returns to the jungle, rallying the animals to come to the aid of the gorillas and scare off the thugs. Clayton then mortally wounds Kerchak and battles Tarzan across the treetops. Although Tarzan spares Clayton's life and destroys his rifle, Clayton tries to kill him with his machete. Tarzan is able to trap Clayton within a cluster of vines, and the latter frantically tries to cut himself free when a vine ends up getting tangled around his neck, hanging him and killing him. Kerchak, with his dying breath, finally accepts Tarzan as his own son and names him as the new leader of the gorilla troop before dying peacefully. The next day, Jane and her dad prepare to leave on the ship, while Tarzan stays behind with the gorillas. As the ship leaves the shore, Professor Porter encourages his daughter to stay behind with the man that she loves. So Jane jumps overboard and returns to the shore, and her dad ends up following her. As our movie ends, the Porters reunite with Tarzan and his family as they embark on their new life together, and they live happily ever after. Tarzan is a film I had only seen once, maybe twice before watching it to review it for this. And I'll be damned, this was a great way to round out the Renaissance era because it was the final film of that era. The official Renaissance era goes from Little Mermaid to Tarzan, and this was a great way to wrap it up. As we've talked about during the month, were there a couple of fumbles in between? Yeah, there were. But Little Mermaid to Tarzan overall is arguably the greatest era of Walt Disney Animation Studios filmmaking. Period, bar none. Fight me. The animation in this film was exceptional. The storytelling was on point. Phil Collins came hard with those songs. Two Worlds, You'll Be in My Heart, Trash in the Camp, you name it. The entire soundtrack is just on point. You know, I honestly would consider it maybe, quite possibly, the second best soundtrack, start to finish, of the Renaissance era, only behind The Lion King. Bold statement? Maybe. Let me know what you think. Premiere, leave your comments over here. On demand, leave your thoughts and comments down here. What do you think of Phil Collins' soundtrack to Tarzan? Let me know if you're watching the premiere. Leave your thoughts and comments over here. If you're watching on demand, leave your thoughts and comments down here. Let's have that conversation about this one because, man, I think it's a banger of a soundtrack. When it comes to my rating for this film, I give it 4 out of 5 stars. Again, animation, storytelling, music, the whole nine I thought was perfect. I thought the addition of Glenn Close, Rosie O'Donnell, Wayne Knight, and Minnie Driver made the voice cast outstanding. Again, what do you guys think of Tarzan? Let me know. If you're watching the premiere, thoughts and comments here. If you're watching on demand, thoughts and comments down here. Let's engage that conversation because we've only got 1 week left of movies from inside the Disney Vault. So let's get to that conversation. Make sure you guys tune in tomorrow, right here to the Casa D18 Studios channel, for another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews. and it's new release Saturday. So we're going to be taking a look at Thor, Love and Thunder, starring Chris Hemsworth, Christian Bale, Tessa Thompson, Jamie Alexander, Taika Waititi, Russell Crowe, Natalie Portman, Kat Dennings, Idris Elba, Chris Pratt, Dave Bautista, Karen Gillan, Sean Gunn, Vin Diesel, Bradley Cooper, Palm Clementif, Matt Damon, Sam Neill, Luke Hemsworth, and Melissa McCarthy. You're not going to want to miss out on that right here on the Casa D18 Studios channel, right here on another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews as its new release Saturday. To all my fans and friends out there, thank you for watching and joining me here today. Make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you are subscribed. Make sure that notification bell is turned on so that you're alerted and up to date on all my new content as it goes live. Make sure you share this video with your family, friends, movie lovers, Disney fanatics, fans of Tarzan, fans of Phil Collins, anybody that you can think of that would enjoy this video. Share it with them. Help boost up my visibility in the algorithms. Help me get monetized by the end of the year. Thank you again for joining me today, and I will see you guys next time.